Here we are in the menu of Tomb Raider 3. My name is Andy Sandham. I was one of the level designers, environment artists, story designers, anything else that they couldn't find anybody else to do on a few of the initial Tomb Raider games. So we're kind of doing a design retrospective, looking at some of the design aspects with one of my esteemed colleagues, Tom Scutt. So thanks to Ash for the questions. This one's a bit rambly, it's just a kind of initial test. So without further ado, I shall fire up my esteemed colleague, Mr. Tom Scutt.
You're Tom Scutt, you're great, you're the designer and AI coder for many Tomb Raider games.
Welcome back to my abode. Feel free to take a look around.
I am.
Did you hear that?
I did what you said or what she said?
Well, what she said.
I did hear what she said.
Right, so that was Judith, Gibby's brother.
Gibby's brother? Off to a good start.
No, excellent. Right, so I've got a stop swearing. I've got a sheet of commands next to me. One of them is action key.
So right at this point, right, I don't. Can I just say I don't think that it looks this on. So on PlayStation, all of the textures looked crap. So it was look at that door.
It's lovely.
It's terrible. Is it even up? Is it upside down?
Well, if I did it.
Yeah, it's upside down. It's upside down. Look at the shadows on that door.
Check it. Check it. Check it. So I think that's a flare box. If I've turned the gamma up because it was so dark that I couldn't see anything.
Could you turn? It's all right at the minute. And I was going to say you could turn the volume down on this, but in fact now the music's not playing. It's all right. So yeah,
we don't want any. So I've only played about 20 minutes of this.
Yeah.
So we all built a bit of this. I don't know if you were here. You arrived during Tomb 3, didn't you? God.
I did arrive during Tomb 3. So I think house-wise, the only stuff I did with Tomb 3, I think I did Winston stuff.
Yeah. Well, he's down there somewhere, as you can hear him. How do you jump ults? Right.
If you want to look around, press and hold the look button. Right, then press in the direction you want to look.
What is the look button? So I can't look, which is impossible on my level because you actually, as soon as you start, you just die. So Winston.
Hey, Winston, little fart there.
Are you saying that the textures look better on the PS1?
Well, I think no, they don't look better, but I think they're more. It's less obvious in some ways that some things are low texture
really
and some are high.
It does. It looks like a bit of a pig's ear, really, doesn't it? I mean, I have turned the gamma up, which that was one way of hiding the. Look at the size of those tiles. I mean, I spent half my life telling students not to make gigantic bricks. You know what I mean? Good grief! What was the point of Winston?
Well, that is one of the eternal questions. I mean, what did he?
Hey!
What did he bring?
Yeah, I used to be able to jump over him and make him fart, didn't you? I think. Was it Nathan?
I think that might be.
Did all the voices?
That does sound like Nathan. In fact, it just sounds like Nathan normally.
Well, I know that's bad, isn't it? Right, I've forgotten how to jump again. Oh yeah, okay. So you can unlock certain things there, couldn't you?
Let's go into the gym.
Oh god, here we go.
Those of you who've been here before may notice the new deck. I don't actually run everywhere. When I want to be careful, with the walk button down, I won't fall off, even if you try to make me.
Hey,
go on,
check it. I've worked out the walk button.
If a jump is too far for me, I can grab the ledge and save myself from a nasty fall. Walk to the edge next to the white line until I won't go any further.
Right,
then press jump, immediately followed by forward. And while I'm in the air, press forward and I'll climb up.
Right, yeah, thanks. It just told me to press forward just after the option had presented itself the way to grab that ledge. So, did you ever actually play all of it? Because we were talking about this the other day.
I think I did. Yeah, I think I did play think I played all through all of them. I think I might have been so traumatized by 5 that I never played it, but I'm pretty sure I did.
So I might, well, like I said, I'm going to edit out any bits that are that we're not supposed to be talking about. But I found a note in a diary the other day, and but I'll stop talking about it now, so I don't have to keep editing all of this video.
What I've always wanted to know, the most important thing I've always wanted to know is how much did that shirt cost?
What, my Venice shirt?
Yeah, because it was the stuff of legends that you'd spent a huge amount of money on a shirt, and I don't think I ever.
We're already at the level where we have to talk. I have to do my shirt story. Unbelievable. Yeah. So this is what they always depict me as in the in all the interviews. I'm always depicted as the yob, the money yob. So it's
the money
like
yob,
yeah. So do you remember when you were at the were you at the oh god the 20th anniversary event? You weren't, were you?
No.
You missed yourself there. That's great.
Yeah.
So basically, so they always make me out to be the money yob, and it's always effing this and effing that and effing the other. And so we had a little interview with the Games TM bloke. And, I get Games TM, and I used to get Games TM before it folded. And anyway, so we're having this interview, and I was like, telling my usual funny stories, not the shirt story, not with the same timing as you, obviously, but good enough. Anyway, so I read it back in the magazine. Andy Sandham said it was like and it was like what? So I was messaging Heather and saying, Heather, was I swearing during that interview? And she was like, yeah, of course you were, yeah. And I deliberately hadn't been swearing, right? It was just like some sort of big fat yob. Yeah, £1 million and balls. It's like, dude, leave off, will you? Not always swearing all the time like some big fat pig. So the shirt was I think it was £375. Yeah.
Fucking hell. Still a nice shirt. So,
well, no, it's not a nice shirt because it's got a lot of gravy down it. Because it's in my wardrobe. It's still in my wardrobe with gravy down it. I haven't worn it since I spilt gravy down it at Christmas about 20 years ago.
That is a shame. It's a shame. I'd like to say I do like that. I like that texture in the bath. That's nicely done, actually.
Well, you know what that is, don't you?
Who did that?
It was Toby.
Was it Toby?
Yeah, just nicked it from the first game. So, what did you do, Tom? I don't want to talk about me and my shirt for hours. Tell me some exciting things about what you did. And I'm going to go to, and after that, I'm going to go to the London level. Whoopsie daisy.
So, well, what I did was I did the AI programming for Tomb Raider 3, 4 and 5, but one of the big things that I went on about it really boring length was just about, because quite often you'd sort of do an AI thing that could help them do AI that would actually mean that the baddies did something interesting, and then someone just plonk them down and it wouldn't work because someone just plonks it down. So I'll give you some. So even before I got there, one of the reasons I got the job, I think, was because I kind of was a bit critical about some of the AI in Tomb Raider 2.
Right.
But the reason that some of that didn't work was things like someone had just stuck a baddie on a balcony, and because it was on a one block balcony, if you shot it, it had nothing it could do really other than run round and round in a circle.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that basically the kind of AI and the design needed to sort of go hand in hand. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well...
Which I think is why we spent hours sitting down wanting to kill ourselves, trying to get the AI and the design of Sophia and that sort of thing working. Because they kind of both rely on each other.
Sophia, that'll be a treat.
Yeah.
If we get that far, that'll be quite something.
That will be quite something. I mean, I mean, given the navigation skills that you've shown so far, I think the chances of us actually getting to that.
Oh no!
What's happened there?
No, I just pressed the Windows button. That's just as you were saying navigation skills. I accidentally pressed the wrong button.
So I'm trying to remember. I can't even remember what I did in this level. I don't think I did very much other than on Tomb Raider 3. Other than
I think this was because the thing about Tomb Raider 3 was we were absolutely desperately trying to prove that we could put everything in and be better than 2, and obviously it wasn't better than 2 eventually, apart from the AI was better than 2, but the actual game I don't think was better than 2, but we just tried to put so much stuff in. So I remember, like Richard Morton for instance, I think he put in that, it's got a quad bike track over there, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I remember, he was in there till 4 a.m. every morning putting that in, simply for the purpose of kind of showing how much we could do to prove ourselves. No.
It's interesting as well, because it's like a load of the levels in Tomb Raider are absolutely enormous. I mean, even if you compare them to levels on games nowadays,
yeah, I know.
They're ridiculously huge, and given how little space there was on the PlayStation.
I do remember, because at one point did Adrian not come down and tell us that it was going to go on 2 discs unless we cut something, and basically he said that if it goes on 2 discs, you've had it. It's going to cost it's going to you're going to half your. Well, weren't even getting royalties at that point, but he was just saying it's going to make a massive dent in the profits because it's going to be a 2 disc. I mean, it's ludicrous. You remember when we used to have to pay for updates? So if you shipped something incorrectly, and you used to have to pay Sony or Microsoft to actually update the project.
Yeah. I mean, it just seems so crazy nowadays. Given that you can, games are patched, games go out, and then on the day of release, there's like a 50 gigabyte patch for that.
Are you looking at the internet while I'm there? I just ran straight through the.
Yeah, only because I was gonna give you a really boring nerd fact, and
look, I've forgotten what jumpers again. Oh no!
I just wanted to check. I thought I knew, but I just wanted to check because I didn't want to be talking bollocks. So basically, the amount of memory on, and this is really boring. I know you're going to be doing. I know it's a good job you're not on video because I know you'd be doing that before you sleep. Exactly, but. The amount of memory on the PlayStation was 2 megabytes, right? So I mean that's like a tiny fraction of a photo you take, one single photo you take now on your phone.
Really?
And basically, I mean it's absolutely ridiculous. So that was the memory that you had during the level.
Yeah,
I mean obviously on the disc you had.
So it's streaming in like 2 megabytes while you're playing it at a time.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there was 1 megabyte of videogram and 2 megabytes of. So it's things like we had to do stuff like when. So I remember that whole thing about it not fitting on one disc. So I remember at that stage it was basically we had to chop up the code so that bits of the code that weren't being used on a particular level, if it wasn't a quad bike level, it would chuck away the code used for controlling the quad bike. And it's like nowadays that's such a trivially small amount. The idea that you could do that.
I've got a bug there.
Nice bug there.
So I remember Chris had a fit because I remember on Tomb Raider 4 we had to we had that quad bike, the motorbike, and I needed to make a jump, and then you kind of you arrived in the next level at the same point that you'd jumped from in the previous level, so it loaded and then kind of remembered where you. God, I can't believe we used to think that was funny. We used to walk around farting. It is quite funny, I suppose. But no, Chris almost had a complete fit, and I've told this story a few times, but so it's really boring. But he just had a complete fit and told me to and then so I just thought I was leaving for a bit, and then obviously like about 4 hours later he came back and said, "Yeah, I've done it, fixed it." It was Chris. It was Chris way, wasn't it? He would just tell you. And then basically go and do it.
It was like a sweary Scotty off of Star Trek.
Right, and on that note, I think it might be time to let's have a look at the level before this laptop explodes.